Guilders 2 just revealed their next expansion, Visions of Eternity. There is a new mysterious island, new elite specializations, a reworked skimmer mount, a new homestead map, and lots of new legendaries to go for. In this short video, I want to sum up the whole announcement, and I also want to talk about some little tidbits that were on different websites and not in ArenaNet's own blog post. Like for example, a screenshot of the supposedly new Guardian specialization. This wasn't in the official blog post at all. If you want to see my full reaction, you can also watch my 11-hour vault where I look at all of this stuff and analyze all of it. But if you want the short version, that's what this video is for. Let's dive in. Visions of Eternity takes place on the mysterious island of Castora. This island is kind of a myth, but apparently the Inquest has been trying to find it. If you don't remember the Inquest, they're basically the evil Asura faction, and the last time we really got to see them was all the way back in 2018. I think it's really exciting to get an expansion that seems to have such an Asura focus. We are of course going after the Inquest, and we're trying to figure out what exactly it is they are trying to do. From the trailer, it looks like we're going with Saida, who is our Corsair friend from all the way back in Living World Season 4. Also, Ridlock is in the trailer! I'm so happy about this. The island has got this kind of like tropical paradise setting, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Apparently there's a lot of magical energy on this island, which is kind of warped the creatures, and it also means that there is this special kind of skimmer. The skimmer is getting a major upgrade in this expansion. We don't know exactly what it means yet, but it looks like it's moving a lot faster on land and also looks like it can now launch projectiles. More details on the skimmer are coming later. If you're in Gen 3 Wilds, there will also be a new homestead map for you to get in Castora, so you can have your own tropical island home. A lot of players are pretty attached to their homesteads in Gen 3 Wilds, so to not make it so that you have to choose, they're also adding a new homestead layouts feature. You'll basically be able to save your current homestead decorations as a file on your PC. Then you can get the new homesteads, and then if you ever decide you want to go back to the old one, you can just load the file and get all your decorations back in the same place. I think for most people, the most exciting part of this expansion is new elite specializations. The last time we got this was all the way back in End of Dragons, but in this expansion, every class will get a new elite spec. These new elite specs will not have new weapons associated with them, but considering we just had 2 expansions that focused on weapons, I think most people are just glad to be getting elite specs. Over the past 2 weeks, ArenaNet has been teasing these elite spec icons on their social media, and everybody has been trying to guess which icon is which class. Unfortunately, they didn't fully reveal which is which today. However, they did show us 5 of the elite specs, so we probably have a pretty good idea of most of them. 3 of these are in the trailer, and then there are also 2 hidden in screenshots. First, we have the Elementalist, who now seems to have a fiery folk's spirit friend. And this is clearly this icon from the teasers. We don't know anything about what the gameplay is gonna be like yet, but I'm just really excited to have a Firefox friend. In a little bit over a month, they are doing an elite spec beta, so I assume they will have to properly reveal all of them before then. The second spec we got to see is this kind of like Indiana Jones looking character. This one is a bit vague, but there seems to be an attack where you send a squid to dig something up and there's like shinies flying everywhere. Most people seem to think that this fits with the teased cart icon that we saw earlier and that this might be Thief. I do think there's a chance that it might be Engineer instead, but I am also leaning towards Thief on this one. And then we very clearly got to see a Mesmer playing instruments. This is clearly the Bard spec, and it's something that Mesmers have wanted for a really long time. I'm ridiculously excited, and I'm so curious to see what this will play like. Up next, hidden in a screenshot on the official website, we got to see a ranger that seems to be throwing birds? It clearly lines up with this icon, which has got this sort of like wing bow with an arrow. Extremely vague, but a lot of people are calling this Pigeon Monster. I do not want to fight these in Wolves vs. Wolves. Everyone told me not to stroll on that beach. Finally, there was a little tidbit in the PC Gamer article about this. And Guardians have adopted a spooky effect. And then there is this screenshot. Most people seem to think that this is Guardian and then kind of like a dark Guardian. Like a Dark Knight or a Dark Templar. Maybe you give up your virtues and instead you get this like floaty lantern that has got like a guardian, spooky, ghosty flame in it. That does leave a couple of other elite specializations. We already know that Warrior is getting a Paragon-inspired elite specialization. For those of you who don't know, Paragon was a profession in Guild Wars Nightfall. Seeing this come back is really exciting. And then secondly, we know that Necromancer will be getting elite specialization that seems to be inspired by the Guild Wars 1 Ritualist. I never played Ritualist in Guild Wars 1, but I'm very excited to see what this is all about. That then leaves 2 elite specializations, which are kind of a mystery. The Engineer, which most people think is this icon. Again, that could also be the Indiana Jones spec, but I think that's probably Thief. And then also the Revenant, which some people think is this icon, and some people think is this icon. We're guessing that the Dark Guardian will be one of these two, it's just a matter of which is which. Hopefully, we'll get to know pretty soon. Let's talk about some other tidbits. They've revealed that there will be 6 new legendaries coming over the course of this expansion. So I imagine that means some of them at launch and then some of them in the later patches. There are going to be 3 new legendary weapons and we have no clue what those weapons are going to be just yet. There is going to be a legendary accessory, which means you'll be able to make that one instead of Vision or Aurora from Season 3 or Season 4. And there's also going to be a new legendary ring. This has been highly requested. Right now, the only legendary rings are either from Path of Fire raids or World vs. World. So having another option is going to be awesome. And then finally, we are getting a legendary Aqua Breather. A lot of you probably don't care about this, but some of us care a lot. The Aqua Breather is the only piece of stats equipment in the game that doesn't have a legendary available. So there's all these people that have full legendary, but they're just missing that Aqua Breather. The 3 quarterly patches for this expansion are going to be structured a little bit differently. The first one is very interesting. The first quarterly patch is not going to be a content patch with a map and story, but instead it's going to be all about quality of life improvements. We know about 2 of these. ArenaNet wants to unify strikes and raids into one system, and they talk a lot about how they want to make it more accessible and easier for people to get into. We don't really know what this means, but a lot of people are hoping that maybe they'll add a better LFG system. They also talked a bit about unifying the rewards between strikes and raids. Something that I find really interesting is that they mention in the patches there will be 2 raid encounters coming out. To me, that sounds a bit like they're not talking about raid wings, but instead about standalone raid bosses. A bit like a strike boss. But again, the systems are now going to be unified, so I guess a strike boss is now a raid boss? We don't have any details, but that's just how it sounds to me. And then there is another quality of life feature that is enormously exciting. It is fashion templates. They didn't specify if that would be in this first patch, but that is what I would assume. Fashion templates have been requested by the player base for years. Being able to make like a look for your character, then save it, and then later on you can just like apply it again would be amazing. Unfortunately, they didn't give any details and they told us that we'll get details later. Also, another interesting tidbit, they mentioned new hairstyles in the newsletter. This isn't in any of the official blogs, it's just in the newsletter, so I guess that's coming too. So the first quarterly patch for this expansion will be all about QoL stuff like that. But after that, we will also be getting 2 content patches. ArenaNet has mentioned that they're not necessarily doing less story, but that they want these patches to feel bigger. The idea is that those 2 content patches will have more meat to them than the patches we got for Jan Verwalt and Sodo. Sounds pretty good to me, but I do hope that the QoL patch will be exciting enough to tide us over until those patches come out. Finally, they also opened pre-orders for the expansion, with also a bunch of items you get if you buy the deluxe version. There are these super cute new infinite gathering tools in the deluxe edition, and also this jellyfish skimmer skin. If you are thinking of pre-ordering, I should let you know that you can use a content creator's affiliate link to support them when making your purchase. This doesn't work if you play GW2 on Steam on the Epic Store, but if you don't, you can use an affiliate link, and then the content creator whose link you use gets a little financial kickback. If you want to, I would love it if you use my affiliate link, but you can also use the affiliate link of a different content creator. Finally, there were a lot of really pretty screenshots, pieces of concept art, and also this gorgeous logo. The icon animation really makes me feel like they're trying to portal this cube somewhere else. Maybe they're trying to time travel. Maybe they're trying to travel to the mists and we'll finally understand the uncategorized fractal. Who knows, but I am really excited to figure out what the Inquest is up to exactly. And I think that about covers it. I really hope this video was helpful. If you want to help support me financially, do consider using my affiliate link. It really does help out. Or you can pop in to my Twitch stream for Twitch drops over at twitch.tv/Leranity. And now I'm gonna go sleep. I just streamed for like 15 hours and then I made this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.